The Catholic Church requires celibacy for its priests and nuns. But many find it hard to do so. While some are coerced into it, many of the sexual relations they have are voluntary and with both priests and parishioners. Celibacy is seen as one of the most important sacrifices a priest or nun makes for the Church. Nuns consider themselves married to Christ. Rather than taking a human spouse, they devote themselves to God. But many nuns face a daily challenge trying to keep their vows and their faith. Despite its expectations of holiness and celibacy, the Catholic Church has been the subject of a fair share of monastic scandal. In this video we discuss the secret intimacy lives of nuns. Some of the topics covered in this video may be offensive or disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised. The nuns in Rome's Sant'Ambrogio della Massima were subjected to sexual initiation rites, sometimes involving upwards of 3 people. Even after the convent's founder, Maria Agnes Ferrareo, was removed from her position, other nuns filled her shoes. By the 1850s, Mistress of Novices Maria Luisa was enforcing salacious trysts between herself and the nuns in her convent, forging letters from the Virgin Mary, and threatening anyone who questioned her methods. These illicit truths, buried in the Vatican archives for decades, only emerged when scholar Hubert Wolff cracked the case wide open in the Nuns of Sant'Ambrogio. Even more shocking, however, are the lengths to which these nuns went to hide their secrets. In the 1850s, the founder of the convent of Sant'Ambrogio, Ferrareo, was stripped of her abbess title for encouraging other nuns to worship her as a false idol. Mistress of Novices Maria Luisa overtook Ferrao's role, and, just as her predecessor, she arranged nightly rendezvous with her novices. One nun confessed, "Maria Luisa asked me to lie in a certain position, with my legs raised, while she entwined herself with me. She then made movements and a sound such as I cannot express in words, as she instructed me to position myself so that I could receive her bodily fluids into me." Maria Luisa claimed that these fluids could cure illnesses. She also asked the novices to lay face-to-face and breast-to-breast with her as part of their initiation ritual. Mistress of Novices Maria Luisa wasn't just sleeping with the other nuns. She was also carrying on with one of the convent's Jesuit confessors. When the two met up at night, they shook off suspicion by citing reasons of religious communing. In fact, Maria Luisa managed to con the confessor into bed using forged letters from the Virgin Mary. Maria Luisa asked a novice, Maria Francesca, to write the holy letters because of her beautiful handwriting, and soon everyone in the convent was following the holy orders, including the confessor who jumped into bed with Maria Luisa. The convent's founder, Maria Agnes Ferrareo, was involved in several scandals during the early 19th century. Although she had been a spiritual advisor to Pope Leo XII, Ferrareo found herself in hot water when her misdeeds became public. Ferrareo not only had an affair with her confessor, but she also engaged in a 3-way tryst with her confessor and another nun. She performed false miracles and had 2 abortions when she became pregnant by clerical officials. Miraculously, Maria Agnes's convent wasn't shut down by the Inquisition in 1816 when she was stripped of her title as abbess. Instead, the illicit activity continued behind closed doors. One of the confessors at Sant'Ambrogio harbored a secret. He was living under an assumed name. He was actually Joseph Kleutgen, an advisor to the Pope and a leading theologian. In 1848, Kleutgen began an affair with one of the nuns, and during the Inquisition trial, the confessor admitted that he had multiple carnal encounters with Maria Luisa. Kleutgen tried to defend himself. Their affair, he insisted, was purely spiritual, not about lust, Kleutgen claimed, but about religion. Even though he confessed, Kleutgen suffered only mild punishment. The Inquisition ordered him confined to a Jesuit house for 2 years, and he was stripped of any role in hearing confessions. Maria Luisa introduced some unorthodox practices to new nuns, including sexual initiation rites. Maria Luisa told the nuns that her bodily fluids contained divine blessings, which could be shared during climax. During the trial, Maria Luisa admitted that the saintly founder of the order, Ferrareo, used similar methods to pass on her miraculous liquor to Maria Luisa and former novices. Novices were invited to spend the night in Maria Luisa's cell. If any of the nuns complained about the rituals, they mysteriously took ill and died. Princess Katharina von Hohenzollern-Sigmaringen was widowed twice by age 36. Rather than remain in her native Germany, the princess became enamored with Rome's convent of Sant'Ambrogio and decided to become a nun. Not long after, however, the princess uncovered some suspicious behavior and soon feared for her life. The princess smuggled out a cryptic letter that simply read, "Save me." After she discovered the abbess's illicit and controlling behavior, she believed Maria Luisa was slowly trying to kill her. During the Inquisition trial, Maria Luisa was accused of participating in lesbian encounters, venerating a false saint, and murder. But one crime in particular stood out during her trial. According to witnesses, Maria Luisa had engaged in what was termed a Jesuit blessing, but was actually an erotic ceremony. The secret blessing, passed down from the convent's founder Maria Agnès Ferrario, consisted of French kissing, among other things. One witness said that the male confessor made the sign of the cross on her throat with his tongue. Sometimes he put his tongue into the penitent's mouth and kissed her on the heart. While receiving the blessing, nuns sometimes fell into a state of ecstasy on their knees before the confessor. Maria Luisa shared an erotic letter with the convent's newest recruit, the twice-widowed German Princess Katharina. But when the princess reacted with shock, Maria Luisa decided to eliminate the critic in the most permanent way. Maria Luisa used forged letters from the Virgin Mary to justify her actions. The heavenly instructions, Maria Luisa claimed, told her to end Katharina's life. Many attempts were made, though none were successful. Princess Katharina managed to escape the convent with the help of her cousin. Seriously ill and refusing all food and medicine, Katharina was taken to her family's French estate to recover. Maria Luisa later confessed that she had made the princess ingest opium, mercury, and powdered glass. Sant'Ambrogio was a relatively new convent when it began hiding its crimes. The organization was founded in 1806 by a young nun in her early 30s. Sister Maria Agnès Ferrario built a powerful reputation. She was known for wearing an iron mask, outfitted in over 50 nails that pointed toward her face. The founder may have claimed she was a living saint, but her stigmata were self-inflicted. On top of that, the Inquisition put Ferrario on trial in 1816, and she was convicted. The charges were feigned holiness and lewd behavior with her confessor. Ferrario spent the rest of her life in banishment. Although Ferrao's convent managed to stay open, the Inquisition may have been looking for an excuse to close it. The convent's secret stayed hidden for over 100 years. Even after an Inquisition trial, the secrets of Sant'Ambrogio never became public. Thanks for watching.